Before I start, thank you for listening to an old man's story. Please comment below. Where are you listening from? And what time is it? I'd love to know. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button. It helps more than you think. Now, let me tell you what happened. My son locked me in the living room and brought his wife into my bedroom. So, I sold the damn house. My son, James, said it was temporary, that I'd be more comfortable in the living room. Then one day, I came home to find my clothes packed, the bedroom locked, and his wife, Laura, sleeping in my bed as if she deserved it. But they didn't know I still owned the house. While they sipped wine and called me a burden, I planned my revenge without knocking. It was just paperwork. I didn't mind sacrificing space. I've done that my whole life. I gave up space in my shed so James could have more school books. I sacrificed savings so he could buy a college car. I sacrificed time, energy, my health, just to ensure James had what he needed. So when James and Laura needed to stay for a few weeks after their wedding, I didn't hesitate. They could move in. The house was big enough, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I thought I'd sleep in my room. They'd take the guest room, and we'd share meals as a family. But Laura had other ideas. From day one, she acted like she was doing me a favor. She walked in, sunglasses on, not calling me Dad like James used to, just Walter, like I was her tenant. That first night, she complained about the guest room mattress. Too hard, she said. It's hurting my back. James looked at me across the dining table. I saw it coming. Dad, he said, what if Laura and I use the master bedroom? You're smaller. You don't need that much space. I blinked. James, your mother and I slept in that room for 30 years. Laura's 38, I said. Her back will be fine. Laura pouted like a teenager. James rubbed her shoulder. That night, I slept in the master bedroom anyway. It was my room, my bed, my memories. But the next afternoon, when I came back from the hardware store, my things were packed in boxes outside the door. The door was locked. I stood in the hallway, staring at my life in cardboard. James walked out of the kitchen like nothing was wrong. Oh, we moved some furniture for you. Thought this would be easier. You can use the living room. Come on, don't make a big deal. Laura appeared, wearing my flannel robe like it was hers, rollers in her hair, holding a mug. She smirked at me. That night, I slept on the couch, a hard mattress, broken outlet, faulty closet door. The room was cold, drafty. My knees ached. I didn't say anything. I was raised to believe fathers must endure, but endurance has limits. The next day, Laura invited friends for lunch. I wasn't invited. I heard them laughing about how some older folks don't know when to back off. Then I found my wedding photo face down in the hallway closet. My Navy medals were tossed in a shoebox under paint cans. My photo albums were pushed aside for Laura's skincare fridge. James avoided eye contact. I heard him whisper to her one night, "Don't worry, he's quiet. He'll adjust. Adjust. This is my home." I didn't just pay for it. I built its framework with my hands. When the roof leaked in '89, I fixed it. When James needed braces, I skipped heat that winter. When the bank threatened foreclosure, I took a second job at the factory. Now my only son was rearranging me like old furniture. It got worse. They installed a keypad lock on the master bedroom door. "Hey, Dad, I asked for the code," James said. "Just for privacy. Boundaries. Boundaries in my home. Come on, it's still your house. We're just building a future, and I'm the past." They never said it aloud, but every sigh, shrug, closing door screamed it. That weekend, I tried Sunday dinner fried chicken, greens, cornbread, James's favorites. Laura walked in halfway. "Oh, we're getting takeout. My stomach's too sensitive for this grease." James nodded. They ate sushi in the master bedroom. I ate alone at the dining table I bought with my first tax refund. No blessings, no thanks, just silence. Silence makes you remember. Whose name is on the paperwork? Which drawer holds Tom Bradley's business cards? My lawyer from 2005 might be old, but I'm not done. They think I'm too quiet to fight. That being harsh means I'm weak. They think calling me dad while pushing me into the living room is enough, but I wasn't resting. I was watching. They filled my house with noise. Laura invited her sisters over almost every weekend. James let friends crash on the living room couch. I found false eyelashes in the sink, nail glue on the counter, a spilled foundation bottle on my late wife's armchair. I asked Laura to be careful. She said, "If that bothers you, you might as well not sit there." That was the chair I held James in during his asthma attacks. It's where his mother read him stories in a voice so soft it lulled the birds outside. I wiped it with a wet cloth. The stain didn't come out. I didn't try again. The worst wasn't the mess or how they moved through the house differently than we built it. It was how they erased me without a word. Laura turned our dining room into a content creation corner for her YouTube channel ring lights, backdrops, my father's tablecloths stuffed behind a box. She said antiques don't get clicks. One day, I came back from the pharmacy and found my china boxed up, labeled for donation. I stood staring at the boxes. Laura came in, my scarf around her neck, half a glass of wine. Like she said, lifting the scarf makes me feel like a grown man. I didn't answer. I picked up a box and took it to the living room, my room now. It had a broken fireplace, a wardrobe, no clothes rod. I sat on the couch, staring at the wallpaper I once thought was ugly. Now it was the only thing still mine. That night, I tried the main bathroom. My knees ached. I needed the tub. The guest bathroom had a slippery shower. I knocked. Laura opened the door halfway, holding a robe. "Is this an emergency? I need to soak." My knees swollen. James appeared. "Dad, we talked about this. That bathroom's ours now. Use the other one. The tub's broken. I told you, maybe ask someone to fix it," Laura said, shrugging. "We're tight on budget." I looked at James, my only son. He couldn't meet my eyes. They shut the door. I stood there, a ghost no one remembered to bury. I called Tom the next day from the library. He listened, took notes, said he'd look into neighborhood comparisons and start paperwork to move forward. I told him to be quiet, no notice until the papers were signed. "Got it," he said. That was Tuesday. By Friday, Laura was telling everyone she wanted a garden in the backyard. She walked across my yard in heels, pointing at spots to level. She said she might tear down the swing set, add a hot tub. I didn't care. She laughed. "We'll charm them." She thought it was hers. Tom called the next week. He had a buyer cash, no contingencies. They didn't care who lived there. They wanted clear paperwork and a quick deal. I said, "Go ahead." I copied everything, papers, contracts, the buyer's offer, and put it in an envelope under the couch cushion, next to my father's Bible, its spine broken, names of family births and deaths in the margins. I didn't say much that week, just watched. James called the master bedroom our private room. Laura posted on Instagram, "Sweet home and married life." They didn't know a thing. I quietly packed essentials, a few outfits, my late wife's locket, my harmonica. Laura asked why I was cleaning. I said I was tidying. It feels like everything's changing. She laughed. "Good. We want to turn that living room into a nursery." That was the last straw, not because they wanted a baby, but because she thought she could build a family in the home she stole from the man who made it. I was unwavering. Tom called to confirm the closing date, end of the month. "I'll bring the paperwork," he said. I asked for the sheriff to serve the notice on Sunday. "Sure," he asked. "I want them dressed up, Laura in her veil, James with his mimosa. He was silent, then said, "Done." I hung up, sat on the couch, the cold guest couch they thought they'd forced me into, and smiled. They locked me in the room, but I held the key. On signing morning, I wore white. Not for purity, God knows my bond with my son was broken, but for peace, the kind that unsettles those who wronged you. Tom arrived, his boots echoing on the porch like Judgment Day. He clutched a futl, smiling, holding documents that changed everything. "Ready?" he asked. Sitting at the kitchen table Laura had just polished. I nodded. The buyer was paying cash, no delays, clear title. I was the sole owner. So James and Laura had no grounds to stall. "Serve it Sunday," I said, mid-morning. Tom didn't blink. I'd already told the sheriff. That night, I slept deeper than in weeks. No creaking doors, no whispers, no Laura stomping in my slippers, just silence. The kind when the decision's made, and all that's left is to act. Saturday passed like a countdown. James was outside washing the car. I watched from behind the curtain as he hosed the hood, unaware of the eviction notice coming. Laura filmed a clip on the porch about blessings in their lives. The irony nearly floored me. I said nothing, just baked cornbread, watered the roses, and ironed my church shirt. Sunday morning, I sipped tea when a knock came, not soft, official. Tom and the sheriff stood there, sharp in suits. James opened the door, barefoot, in sweatpants. His face fell. Tom handed him the envelope. "This property's sold. You have 30 days to vacate." Filed with the county, a letter follows. Laura appeared in her robe, hair wrapped, holding her phone. "What's this?" James opened the paper, eyes scanning. His face went pale. "You sold the house," he said, turning to me. I sipped my tea. "You can't do that," he shouted. "We live here." "No," I said calmly. "You stayed here. This is my home. You locked me out of my bedroom and treated it like a favor." Laura stammered. "You're throwing out your son." "After all we've done," I set down my cup, "you boxed my life. Laura, you wore my robe, turned my bedroom into your kingdom. Thought I'd die quietly in the living room. I'm moving on." The deputy stepped forward. 30 days, or this is enforced." James looked at me like a kid realizing his dad wouldn't save him. "I can't believe you." I looked back, disappointed for the first time. "I trusted you," I said. "My fault." They didn't say much after. Guests didn't know whether to hug or run. Laura slammed the door. James followed. Tom and I stood on the lawn, neighbors peeking through curtains. "You okay?" he asked. I nodded. "Better than years before." That afternoon, we drove to the bank, deposited the check. It was big, but I didn't smile at the number. The smile came when I handed Tom a folded paper, a listing for a 2-bedroom condo across town, near the senior center, walkable to the park. "Cash?" he asked. I nodded. "We closed in a week." The condo wasn't big, but it was mine. Fresh paint, clean windows, a quiet porch for 2 rocking chairs and a potted lemon tree. I didn't tell James where I moved. He called once, left a voicemail. "Dad's gone too far." I blocked him. Laura sent a Facebook message calling me toxic, ungrateful. I reported it. But my granddaughter, Emma, found me one Sunday. She showed up at church with a backpack, big brown eyes, hugging me for 5 minutes. "Can I visit?" she asked. "Sweetheart," I said, "you can stay as long as you want." That night, we cooked greens, played old jazz on the stereo. She helped sort photo albums, told me about school. I handed her a cup of tea. I stood on my porch, cup in hand, watching the sun set. No ring lights, no stomping heels, no slamming doors, just peace, paid for with silence, restraint, and a signature worth every betrayal. I didn't just sell the house. I sold the illusion they controlled me. People like James and Laura don't believe they can lose. They're too smart, too charming, with too many connections. They smile with disdain, call it boundaries. They manipulate with a soft voice, say they're helping, but when consequences hit, they crumble like wet tissue. After the eviction notice, the house grew quiet. Laura stopped her music. No more girls' nights, no cocktail glasses on the counter, just tension, bitter, raw. They stopped talking to me. 2 weeks before the deadline, James knocked on my door, the living room door. I didn't answer right away. I wanted him to feel it. When I opened it, he looked rough, red-eyed, hair messy, voice shaky. "Can we talk?" he said. I stepped into the hallway, closed the door. "I don't want things this far," he said. "We need time to figure things out. We thought you'd understand." I crossed my arms. "You trapped me in the living room. James, you locked my bedroom and acted like I should thank you." He sighed. "Laura pushed for that, not me. You let her." I said, "We're losing everything." "Dad, you lost it," I said, "when you forgot who this house belonged to." He stared at me like I was a stranger. "Goodbye, James," I said. 2 weeks left. I closed the door the night before moving day. I made one last meal in that kitchen, sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, catfish. Not for them, for the house, for the memories, for the version of me who cooked in silence, dreaming of rest. Laura didn't come down. James walked through, stared at my plate. "You're eating like that while we pack." "Yes," I said, "because I packed my life 10 months ago, and you didn't blink." He walked away. Next morning, the moving truck arrived at 9 a.m. I sat in the backyard, watched them load it. I didn't wave, didn't speak, just sat with my tea and pruning shears. They left by noon. No goodbyes, no apologies. I walked through the house one last time. Every room echoed, walls bare, shedding noise, stress, entitlement. I traced the hallway, touching the doorframe where I measured James's height, the corner where my wife's chair sat. The next day, I met Tom to sign the papers. He handed me the check. "Congratulations," he said. "You're free." We shook hands. I didn't cry. I drove to my condo, windows down, old soul music playing. I parked, walked into a home with no memories, just possibilities. That evening, Emma dropped by, hugged me so tight I nearly dropped the groceries. "I hate them," she whispered. "Don't," I said. "Remember what not to become." We danced in the kitchen, two souls who survived the unspeakable. My condo became peace. I didn't fill it much, my father's blanket, photos, a Bible, a new kettle. I bought sheets, burned cedar oil nightly. It was the first place I lived without pleasing others. I breathed deep, healed. Emma visited every weekend. Her grades improved, her spirit too. She dulled under Laura's sarcasm and James's silence. Now she laughed again. We planted cherry tomatoes, mint, a rosebush in a clay pot. She said it had to be a rose, my favorite. One afternoon, she asked, "Will you see them again?" I said, "Not unless they're sincere." She nodded, satisfied. I went back to church, volunteered at the community center, taught woodworking to seniors. I saw men like me, fathers pushed aside, robbed by their own. They nodded when I spoke. They knew being called a burden, knew sacrifice for children who become strangers. One man hugged me. "You gave me permission to protect what's mine." That meant everything. We're taught to give, give, give. And when nothing's left, pretend it's love. But love without respect is manipulation in fancy words. A month after selling, a letter came, no return address. James's shaky red ink. "Dad, I don't expect forgiveness. I'm sorry. I got caught proving something, lost myself. Laura and I broke up. She said things she can't take back. I disappointed you. I hurt you. I miss you. I folded it, put it by the charger. No tears, no smile. Some wounds don't bleed, but ache in the cold. A week later, Tom sent the final sale papers and a flyer for a housing fund for seniors. A note, "You're inspiring this. Want to lead?" I thought of men like me, fathers called burdens, cast aside. I called Tom, said I'd donate part of the sale to the first 5 families. He chuckled. "Walter, you're building more than a garden." That Sunday, Emma and I baked sweet potato pies, one for us, one for the church fundraiser, one for the new neighbors in my old house. A young couple with a newborn. I knocked on their door. The wife smiled. "You must be Mr. Thompson," she said. "The agent mentioned you." I nodded. "Just wanted to welcome you. This house has seen ups and downs, but still holds love in its walls." She took the pie, eyes wide. "That means a lot." I left lighter. Didn't look back. That night, as the sun set, I stood on my porch with tea. The rosebush bloomed, petals soft, sturdy like me. The first time I saw James, 4 months after they moved, was at the church fish fry. I was at the dessert table helping Emma serve peach pie. She spotted him first, whispered, "Grandpa?" He looked older, not from age but weight. He carried tired eyes, wrinkled clothes. Laura wasn't there, just him in the lot, plate in hand, heart heavy. He stepped forward. "Dad," he said, "can we talk?" I wiped my hands, nodded to the oak tree. We walked slowly, my legs stiff but back tall. "I've been thinking," he said, "about what I did, what I let her do. I don't know how to say sorry enough." "Then don't try." I said. He looked surprised. "I wanted to give Laura the life she wanted. She said you were stubborn. We needed control. I thought you'd thank me." I blinked. "You handled it fine. James treated your father like furniture." He swallowed. "I deserved that." "You deserved worse," I said. "But I chose silence. Peace. You made your choice. I made mine." He looked down. "I lost my home, her, everything." "No," I said, "you're bringing me down." He opened his mouth, but I raised a hand. "You didn't just hurt me, James. You erased me, watched me weaken in the house I paid for, locked me out of my room, stood there when she mocked me. You didn't stand up. That's all I needed. Stand up." Tears welled in his eyes. "I don't expect forgiveness." "Good," I said, calm as a still lake, "because I'm not there yet." We stood silent. Church sounds echoing, laughter, music, dishes clinking, just us, father and son, separated by irreversible choices. He said he'd started counseling. "It's working." I nodded. "A start." He looked at me, shamed. I looked away. "What can I do to get it back?" "Not yet," I said. "Maybe never. But keep showing up. Right place, right way. No welcome needed. You might get closer." He nodded. Emma stepped up, plate in hand, looked at me, then him. "You okay?" I smiled. "He's fine, sweetheart," James said. "Hey, love." She didn't answer, handed me lemonade, stood by me. He got the message. I should go. He said. I didn't stop him. As he walked away, a weight lifted not from his apology, but because I reclaimed what mattered. He can carry guilt. I've carried enough. That night, Emma and I sat on the porch. Under thrift store fairy lights, we hung together. Mint thrived. Tomatoes grew. Rosebush had 4 buds. "Think he meant it?" she asked. "He regrets it," I said. "Sometimes that's all people offer." "Will you let him back?" I sipped tea, looked at the night. I let go of the house. Arguments, anger. That takes work. She nodded. I pulled a key from my pocket, the condo key, her second home. "This is yours," I said. Her eyes widened. "Emma, you'll always have a place." No matter what anyone says, she held it tight, like it meant the world. It did more than metal. A door, a message. You're not disposable, not invisible, not pushed aside. I kissed her forehead, leaned back, gazed at stars. For the first time in years, I wasn't surviving. I was a man who triumphed.